Some people love to humiliate others, make it public, make it hurt, make sure everyone watches. My name is Jennifer Martinez. I am 32 years old. 6 months ago, my boss fired me in front of 40 people during a company meeting, called me incompetent, said I was dead weight. I was a senior software engineer. I'd worked at the tech startup for 4 years, built half their core product. I was good at my job. He fired me because I disagreed with him in a meeting, challenged his idea, made him look foolish in front of investors. So he humiliated me in return. What he didn't know was that 3 months later, I'd join his biggest competitor, a company that was about to acquire his. 6 months after he fired me, I walked into his office as his new boss. The look on his face was worth 6 months of job searching. Before I tell you what I said when I signed his paycheck, hit like, subscribe for career revenge stories, drop your city. I worked at a tech startup called Innovate Tech. Small company, 60 employees, software for project management. My boss was Derek Collins, 38, Stanford MBA, typical tech bro, thought he was a genius. I was hired as a junior engineer. Within 2 years, I was senior engineer. I was good, really good. I built the core automation features that made our product special. Derek took credit for my work in investor meetings. I let it go. That's how startups work. But I also noticed problems. Derek made bad decisions, overspent on marketing, underinvested in product development, hired friends instead of qualified people. I kept quiet until 6 months ago. We had a board meeting, investors present. Derek presented his plan for next quarter. He wanted to build a mobile app. I raised my hand. We should fix the current product first. We have bugs, performance issues. A mobile app would split our resources. Derek smiled tightly. Thanks for the input, Jennifer, but I've got this. One investor said, Actually, she has a point. What's your priority list? Derek got defensive. We can do both. Jennifer's being overly cautious. I said, I'm being realistic. Our engineering team is 5 people. A mobile app would take 6 months. We'd have to stop all other development. The investor sided with me. Let's table the mobile app. Focus on product stability. Derek's face went red. Meeting adjourned. The next morning, Derek called an all-hands meeting. 40 people in the conference room. He stood at the front. I want to address something. Yesterday, Jennifer questioned my leadership in front of our board. That's not how we operate here. I felt my stomach drop. He continued, I've been patient with Jennifer, but she's consistently negative, resistant to innovation. Frankly, she's dead weight. People looked at me, then at him, uncomfortable. He said, Effective immediately, Jennifer is no longer with the company. Please escort yourself out. I said, You're firing me for disagreeing with you? I'm firing you for being toxic, for undermining leadership. Now leave. 40 people watched me pack my desk, walk out, humiliated. I was devastated, angry, but also confused. That afternoon, 3 coworkers texted me. That was bullshit. Derek's an ass. One said, He's been looking for a reason to fire you since the board meeting. Another, we all know you built the product. He's jealous. The next week, I got a call from the investor who'd been at the meeting. His name was Marcus Wu, partner at a venture capital firm. He said, "Jennifer, what happened to you was wrong. Derek overreacted. If you need a reference, call me." I said, "Thank you." He said, "Also, if you're looking for work, I know some companies hiring. One in particular you might like, TechFlow. They're in the same space as Innovate Tech. Bigger, better funded, growing fast." I said, "I know TechFlow. They're Innovate Tech's main competitor." He said, "Exactly. They're looking for a VP of engineering. You'd be perfect." I interviewed at TechFlow, 3 rounds. They loved me, especially when they learned I'd built most of Innovate Tech's core product. They offered me the VP role, $140,000, equity, team of 20 engineers. I accepted. I started 2 months after being fired. The work was great. The team was talented. The CEO, Linda Park, was brilliant. 3 months in, Linda called me into her office. She said, "We're acquiring a company. Small startup, needs product help. Decent technology, but poor leadership." I said, "Which company?" She smiled. "Innovate Tech. We're buying them. Closing in 2 weeks." My heart stopped. "Innovate Tech?" She said, "Yes, you used to work there, right?" I said, "My old boss fired me publicly 3 months ago." Linda's eyebrows raised. "Derek Collins?" "Yes." She said, "He won't be staying on after acquisition, but until we transition, technically you'd be his supervisor. Is that a problem?" I smiled. "No, that's not a problem." The acquisition closed. TechFlow bought Innovate Tech for $8 million, mostly for the technology. The team would be absorbed, leadership restructured. The announcement went out. Innovate Tech employees learned they'd been acquired. Most were relieved. The company had been struggling. Derek learned his fate separately. He was being let go. 6-month severance, but gone. Part of the transition plan involved me visiting Innovate Tech for a week, assessing the team, evaluating the technology, making decisions about who stays and who doesn't. Essentially, I was Derek's boss for 1 week before he left. Monday morning, I walked into Innovate Tech, the office I'd been fired from 6 months ago. People saw me. Jaws dropped. Whispers started. I went to the conference room. Derek was there. He looked confused. I said, "Good morning, Derek. I'm Jennifer Martinez, VP of Engineering at TechFlow. I'll be overseeing the transition." His face went white. You work at TechFlow?" "I do. I joined 3 months after you fired me." He stammered. I didn't know." "Of course you didn't. You were too busy calling me dead weight to wonder where I'd go." Linda walked in. "Derek, thank you for being here. Jennifer will be evaluating the engineering team this week. She'll decide who transitions to TechFlow and who doesn't." Derek looked like he'd been punched. Linda continued, "As we discussed, your role is being eliminated. Your last day is Friday. Jennifer will handle your exit paperwork." She left, Derek and I alone in the conference room. He said, "Jennifer, I'm sorry. What I did was wrong. I was under pressure. I overreacted." I said, "You humiliated me in front of 40 people. Called me incompetent, dead weight. You destroyed my reputation to protect your ego." I'm sorry. "You're sorry because I'm now your boss, not because you did something wrong." He didn't argue. I said, "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to spend this week training your replacement.
You're going to document everything you do. You're going to be professional and helpful. And then you're going to leave. And if I don't? Then I recommend TechFlow reduce your severance. You get 6 months, but that's contingent on cooperation during transition. He nodded. I'll cooperate. That week, I watched Derek train his replacement, answer questions, document processes. I evaluated his team. 12 people, 8 were excellent, 4 were mediocre. The 8 joined TechFlow. The 4 were let go. Derek's assistant, Maria, came to me privately. Thank you. We all knew what he did to you was wrong. We're glad you're back. Friday came, Derek's last day. I had to sign his final paperwork, including his severance check. 6 months of pay, $75,000. I signed it, handed it to him. He said, "Thank you." I said, "Derek, you taught me something valuable. You taught me that humiliating someone publicly doesn't make you powerful. It makes you insecure. Real power is staying professional when you finally get the chance to do the same thing back." He looked at the floor. I said, "You could have fired me privately. You chose to humiliate me. I could do the same to you now, but I won't, because I'm better than that." I stood, extended his hand. "Good luck." He shook it, left. That was 3 months ago. I'm still VP of Engineering at TechFlow. We've integrated the Innovate Tech team. 8 engineers are thriving. One told me, "You saved us. Derek was running that company into the ground." People ask if